Next up is the Mentor of the Year Award to be presented by Linda Addison.
Hello again. So just pretend that I'm not me, and the words that I'm speaking are coming from Greg Faraday, who couldn't make it to StokerCon this year and asked me to present the Mentor of the Year Award. So these are his words. It is an honor for me to announce Eric J. Guignard as this year's Mentor of the Year. It's an accolade that is long overdue, and I wish I could be there in person to do it. But I know Linda will be more than adequately fill my shoe and give him a better hug than I could. Most of you know Eric is some way or another, but I want to remind everyone of his credentials. He is a writer, editor, and anthologist who earned 2 Bram Stoker Awards, the Shirley Jackson Award, and has also been a finalist for the World Fantasy Award and the International Thriller Writers Award. He has published and edited multiple fiction anthologies, from the modern horror to reprints of classic literature, including the renowned Horror Library Anthology series and the Horror Writers Association's own Haunted Library of Horror Classics. His latest is Scary and Daring, an anthology for middle grade readers based on classic horror tales. And along with his editing, publishing, and mentoring, he finds time to write. He recently released his second collection, A Graveside Gallery, Tales of Ghosts and Dark Matters. Eric's contributions don't stop there. Each month, he compiles a list of pro and semi-pro markets for the HWA, an invaluable resource for all of us who are always looking for places to submit our short stories and poetry. As a mentor, Eric is a superhero, has never missed a mentoring period since he started with us 4 years ago. He almost always takes on 2 mentees per session. Once he even took 3, knowing we were short on mentors. His mentees love working with him, not just because of his knowledge of the craft and writing and business of writing, but also because of his enthusiasm. He is the kind of mentor that someone like me who runs the program wishes I had 20 more of, because we never have to worry about telling anyone they need to wait until next year to be in the program. So it is my great pleasure to have Linda present the Mentor of the Year Award for Eric Guignard. Eric, thank you for everything you do, and I look forward to working with you for years to come.
Big hug, Greg promised me. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, that's so generous just to hear that, because I am terrible at self-promotions and I hate talking about what I'm doing. So to hear somebody else like list all of that, it's so heartening. Like, wow, I did all that. Normally, if somebody asks what I'm doing, I'm like, yeah, I got something going on. And I like publishing other people's work, and I like uplifting other voices around the world, and especially new writers. So thank you again, all. All right, well, first again, thank you so much to the HWA board and to mentor administrator Greg Faraday and his stand-in, Linda Addison, for granting me this very extremely appreciated, notable distinction of Mentor of the Year, of which I am absolutely just so honored and thrilled to receive. I love mentoring. I love working with new writers. So being awarded this acknowledgement for these efforts, it's really, truly, dearly prized. I used to teach at the university level at UC Riverside campus until my program was closed, unfortunately, during COVID. But I found teaching to be one of the most validating and heartening experiences of my life. And I'm certain all of you in the audience who have had teaching experience probably feel that in some way or another, just to be able to watch those that you're talking to grow. And I truly miss that connection with students very much. The downside to teaching at the university level is that often I could have 30 or more people per class and then multiple classes held simultaneously. So at that size, it's not often an opportunity to work in great depth with individuals, to build those long-lasting relationships. And that I feel is one of the strongest upsides to mentoring. It gives chances for individuals to work closely together, to grow together, because as much guidance and knowledge as I can provide to my mentorees, I also gain that back from them in kind. It's lasting friendships, and for most of them, I still keep in contact with them now, even if it's just occasional passing notes. And I hope that they all know that I follow them on social media or I hear news of their accomplishments, and then I'm continually cheering them on in the background with just as much enthusiasm as I was since the day that we were initially paired together. For my own writing journey, I started writing about 2010, and I started just writing, just kind of dabbling in academic articles that I thought I could publish in news magazines, very lofty ideals. I really floundered with that. I had no idea what to do, and I kind of published that, like self-published them on the old Yahoo publishing model, like the pay-per-click, for those of you who are old enough to remember that. And then speaking of remembering, I remember so clearly that when I began doing that, the sense of feeling alone, of just really feeling kind of on the outside of publishing. And I love reading. I would read academia and magazines and books, and I would just wonder, how did these people actually get their words into print and in front of other audiences? I wanted to write, but I also wanted to know that I had a voice that would be read, that people could find even the tiniest value or interest in. So mostly it was a lot of self-doubt, a lot of uncertainty, fear of failure. But then I also started writing speculative fiction stories, which I found I much more enjoyed. And my first acceptance, as glorious as it was, came in February of 2011, which I always think of now as kind of the starting point of me writing fiction with the goal of publication, and also the date that I decided to take writing seriously. And by seriously, I mean I wanted to publish not just articles or content for others, but that I wanted to publish what I wanted to write. And of course, what I wanted to write was horror. I'm sure you all can kind of understand that and empathize. Even having solidified the dream at that point, I still didn't know really anyone or anything in the industry outside of the Yahoo, the dying model that it was. But fortunately, after some random Google searching, I learned about Horror Writers Association. And I was approved to join February 3rd, 2012, by none other than Jim Chambers. Still toiling to this day in volunteer role. I was so jubilant to become involved with others who wanted to write dark and weird fiction. And shortly thereafter, I was also so fortunate to be assigned Weston Oakes as my own HWA mentor. And I really absolutely consider him instrumental in my growth and understanding of both writing and publishing, as well as the accountability to help raise up others. Unfortunately, Wes passed away a few years ago, and it was heartbreaking. But he was an amazing breakthrough author. He was a military hero and a mentor of the first degree. So read him and don't ever forget him. Also from his words, pay it forward. And so I've learned much on my own through research and experience and a lot of failures. But I've also learned tenfold more through the relationships, the stories, assistance, and uplifting from other HWA members over the years. So besides Wes, I always felt forever indebted to others who have mentored me over the years, maybe not necessarily in the official HWA capacity, but they've always been there to help guide me. Lisa Morton, really number one at that list. Gene O'Neill, Stan Swanson, and not to mention just the general learned knowledge from my local HWA Los Angeles chapter, John Palisano and other members of the chapter. And lastly, just a few other recommendations for those of you who are interested in looking to fast track your knowledge through insight and guidance. And these are individuals, they haven't necessarily know that I have been following like their words and their advice, but really over the past 10, 15 years, I've looked at people like Jonathan Mayberry, Mort Castle, Tim Lagunier, Chris Golden. And these are individuals that they have the wisdom of the industry and they are vocal about it and they're willing to help and to share. Lastly, thank you certainly to HWA founders, Robert McCammon and Joe and Karen Lansdale, who without them, none of this would be possible. So without the guidance, friendship, and support of HWA over the years, I know that I would have given up writing. So I can only hope to continually pay it forward to other new writers and to keep them inspired for as long as I can.